Back in 1983, it was revealed that a 20-year-old Karl Malone impregnated a 13-year-old.
Karl Malone was 20 years old, impregnated a 13-year-old, got the away from her.
Then, back in 2004, just when Kobe and Vanessa Bryant were going through their relationship affairs, Karl Malone decided to swoop in by making suggestive comments towards Vanessa.
When everything got started, and he had mentioned that our relationship kind of took a sour note because of something personal.
And instead of showing remorse, Karl decided that he was going to throw fists.
Back in the day when you had a beef, you didn't go get guns or knives. You just, hey, Mark, I got a problem.
Now, NBA legends are sending a troubling message to Karl Malone, and the conversation around him isn't slowing down. To understand why, you have to look at the full story, what happened, who spoke out, and why it still sparks debate. Karl Malone was born on July 24, 1963, in a small town in Louisiana. He grew up in a tight-knit community where everyone knew each other. And by the early 1980s, he had already become one of the most talked-about young basketball players in the country, while playing at Louisiana Tech scouts were watching closely, and his path to the NBA seemed inevitable. Around that same time, a serious situation unfolded. A young girl from his hometown, Gloria Bell, became pregnant at a very young age and gave birth in 1984 to a son, Demetrius Bell. Under Louisiana law at the time, the circumstances legally fell under statutory offense classifications. However, no criminal charges were pursued, as the family chose not to press the issue and instead focused on seeking support through civil action. Malone entered the NBA in 1985 after being drafted by the Utah Jazz and quickly began building a lucrative career. A year later, Gloria Bell's family filed a civil case for paternity and child support. Malone did not initially respond or appear in court, which led to a default ruling. A court-ordered DNA test showed an overwhelming probability that he was the father, and he was ordered to pay weekly child support along with medical expenses. Malone challenged payments, and the case was eventually settled privately toward the late 1980s. After that, there was no ongoing support arrangement. Despite the legal outcome and DNA findings, his side continued to publicly question paternity.
Karl Malone was 20 years old, impregnated a 13-year-old, got the away from her.
The comparison that landed hardest in those conversations was between the NFL and the NBA. Specifically, how the two leagues had handled public figures with misconduct in their histories. Michael Irvin had been removed from NFL programming over an accusation. An accusation not
because Michael Irvin got straight dropped
that
off
part.
Of everything in the NFL.
Off of an accusation of harassment, not even physically touching anybody.
The NFL pulled Iran from its platforms over a harassment allegation involving no physical contact. The NBA put Malone in a broadcast chair at the slam dunk contest when there was a court ruling, DNA evidence, and a son who had grown.
Karl Malone out there, like, it's proven that this is your kid.
There's progeny running around that is proof of the act.
By that point, Vanessa Bryant clearly understood the situation and told Karl Malone that she was married and that he was old enough to be her father. Malone reportedly responded with a remark referencing her father, which immediately made things uncomfortable enough for her to end the conversation. Later during halftime, Malone sent his son over to sit with Vanessa, which created an awkward situation where she would have to return the child afterward. Following the game where Kobe Bryant had a strong performance, Vanessa brought the boy back to Malone, who was sitting courtside wearing a cowboy hat. Trying to keep things neutral, she commented on it. But his response, as reported across multiple accounts, carried an inappropriate tone that made her even more uncomfortable. Vanessa chose to walk away. On the drive home, she told Kobe everything that had happened. That same night, Kobe called Malone directly. According to both Kobe and Vanessa, Malone mostly stayed quiet during the call, offering little response aside from a brief comment that didn't resolve the situation. Kobe made his stance clear, telling him to stay away from his wife. The following day, all parties joined a group call where Malone more strongly denied the allegations. However, Kobe and Vanessa felt that his tone during that conversation didn't match what had been said.
When everything got started, and he had mentioned that our relationship kind of took a sour note because of something personal.
He called it personal. He called it resolved in a personal way. And then when the question became specific, did Karl Malone make a pass at your wife? The answer was the clearest thing he said in any interview.
I know what took place. I know what I feel like took place. You know, those surrounding the situation knows.
He kept the details close. He framed it as something resolved.
My response to that is, you know, personal information is just personal. I mean, yeah, we just keep it between ourselves.
Malone's public response when the story broke was to call it a Hollywood soap opera and to declare that he would not star in another Bryant soap opera. He dismissed it. He denied it in the group call. He declined to apologize. He moved on, as he had always moved on towards the next thing that needed doing. For years after, Malone and Kobe would pass each other at league events with a nod, sometimes less. The kind of silence that communicates everything precisely because it contains nothing. Kobe never reconciled. The nod was as far as it went. In 2015, Malone addressed the situation in an interview that became one of the clear windows into how he understood conflict and resolution. He was asked about Kobe. He said Kobe's problem with him was Kobe's fault, not his. He said he came in peace, but
back in the day when you had a beef, you didn't go get guns or knives. You just, hey, Mark, I got a problem.
He described what he called the old Western code. Disputes get resolved physically away from cameras, away from reporters, privately.
We just go in the back with no cameras, no nothing, and let's just knuckle up and get it over with.
The interviewer asked if he had ever extended that offer to Kobe directly. He had not, but he made clear the offer was
I'm 6'9", 272, to be exact. I'm not hard to find. I don't want no trouble.
He said he didn't hold grudges. He said he had no beef with anyone. He said he loved Kobe.
I don't have a beef with nobody because I come in peace, but I do prepare for war if I have to.
And speaking openly about toughness as if it were second nature. On the court, his resume backed it up: points, MVP awards, and a legacy that placed him among the all-time greats. Malone himself never shied away from that image. He spoke confidently about his career and his standing in basketball history, often pointing to his accomplishments as the ultimate proof of who he was. But alongside that public legacy, there has always been another side to the story. It exists in documented court records, in past interviews, including one where Demetrius Bell spoke about his upbringing without bitterness, and in moments where others, like Kobe Bryant, were directly asked about it. The league itself never issued any formal punishment. There was no criminal case brought forward, no trial, and no sentence handed down. Many viral headlines exaggerate that aspect, but the reality is more complex. There were no charges filed and no prison time served. What remains, however, is a documented history that can't simply be erased. The facts, the legal proceedings, and the people involved are all part of the public record that in recent years, reactions from within the NBA community have reflected that tension. Some players have responded in subtle but meaningful ways, whether through social media or brief, carefully chosen words sending a message not through courts, but through public acknowledgement. In the end, this isn't a story about a legal verdict, it's about how a legacy is viewed over time. Malone's basketball achievements are undeniable, but the broader conversation surrounding his life continues, shaped by both what happened on the court and what exists beyond it. So if you like this video, then subscribe for more like this.